Hello and good afternoon. Thank you for staying with us. Here's the news at noon on Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt. Remember, every child is your child. Support inclusive education. In the highlight this afternoon, ex-Zamfara State Governor Yari and others visit Governor Wike in Port Harcourt. Group frowns at Reuben Abati over comment on Governor Wike. Leader conscience of Ogoni people, Gani Toba, says Simeni Alai Fubara will win Ogoni votes in 2023 polls, and River State government dissolves the governing council of Captain Ilichi Amadi Polytechnics. Now in the details of these and other stories, I am Obruri Ivy Fakai. Zamfara State Governor Abdulaziz Yari has visited Governor Wike in Port Harcourt for the third time. The former Zamfara State Governor Abdulaziz Yari, accompanied by his friends, had a closed-door meeting with Governor Wike. Abdulaziz Yari, while addressing newsmen after the meeting, described the visit as a brotherly visit.
When you are here, this is my third time. I'll come for time. I'll come time, but it's a brotherly visit. Don't worry.
Our correspondent reports that the former Zamfara State Governor Abdulaziz Yari's visit was his third visit after the PDP presidential primaries. The chairman of Ikwerre local government area, Samuel Wanosike, has taken a swipe at the former media assistant to President Goodluck Jonathan, Dr. Reuben Abati, over his attack on Governor Wike. Dr. Reuben Abati had berated Governor Wike over comments by the governor that he did not ask the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar the right questions during an interview session with the media station. Samuel Wanosike, while reacting to the comments by Dr. Reuben Abati, said the former media advisor to President Goodluck Jonathan sabotaged the good works of the former president. He said Dr. Reuben Abati could not showcase the good works of President Goodluck Jonathan, who transformed Nigeria during his tenure.
As a first-class graduate, he's supposed to be one of the Nigerians' best, who also bullied President Jonathan into giving him an appointment as press secretary when Jonathan was the president of Nigeria. Jonathan, as recorded by IMF, between the report of 2013 and 2014, was considered a man that was running an economy that was the fastest growing economy in Nigeria. But yet, Eli Mohammed sold lies to Nigerians, beat Reuben Abati to the media battles and war. Yet, Nigerians couldn't appreciate the good work of Jonathan because Reuben Abati had no capacity to sell the good work of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. In fact, we can accuse Reuben Abati of sabotaging, or one of those who sabotaged the victory of President Goodluck Jonathan. That's why Jonathan lost that election, and today, people like Reuben Abati's failure has brought us to the destruction of the lives and the property we have in Nigeria.
The chairman of Ikwerre local government area, Samuel Wanosike, also said that Governor Nyesom Wike will forever remain in the minds of Rivers people because of his infrastructural development in the state.
President Nyesom Wike has done well as an Ikwerre man, has done well as a Rivers man, has done well as a South man, and he represents the image of the South people. He represents the image of the South people. We have not to talk about age. Age is just but a number. We want men who have capacity and competence. Ezebo Nyesom Wike has done well as a chairman of Obiakpor local government, two-time chairman, built wonderful infrastructures for Obiakpor people, and made Obiakpor people understand what dividends of democracy is, and won all the awards as a sitting local government chairman. Even grew to the level of becoming the president of Commonwealth Association of Local Government Chairmen.
Samuel Wanosike also called for the resignation of the national chairman of the PDP, Senator Iyorchia Ayu. He said the PDP national chairman should throw in the towel for the sake of equity in the party.
Well, irrespective of the mismanagement of the fortunes of PDP since our national chairman came on board as the national chairman of the party, we are saying that our constitution of the PDP has been tampered with. Because when the constitutional party says if the national chairman is from the north, the candidate of the party must come from the south. It is written black and white in our party constitution. And you decide to turn the table because you want to suit Atiku Abubakar, who you believe that has the magic wand to get the victory for the People's Democratic Party. No problem. It is what you have brought to yourself. So for you to give us confidence in our party, you need to go back now. Since you have taken the national chairmanship, the presidential candidacy of our party to the north, that means the national chairmanship of the party must come back to the South.
Similarly, the Niger Delta Youth Leadership Forum, NDYLF, has slammed the former presidential spokesman and Rice TV anchor, Dr. Reuben Abati, over his comments that leaders of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, were condoning the alleged excesses of Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State. According to the group, Dr. Abati's outburst is a clear attempt to malign and denigrate Governor Wike and the PDP leaders. President of the Niger Delta Youth Leadership Forum, NDYLF, Richard Akinika, in a statement, accused Dr. Abati of doing a hatchet job. He also said it is a clear indication that it is a case of vendetta against Governor Wike. The leader of the Conscience of Ogoni People, COOP, Gani Toba, is optimistic that the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, will win the votes in Ogoni land. Gani Toba, while speaking on Super FM Breakfast Show, said Siminalayi Fubara has made huge contributions to the development of the Ogoni land.
Nobody has that kind of capacity to say the PDP candidate, Ogoni people will not vote. How do they do the assessment? Who said that? I can tell you, when you don't, I am the spokesman of Ogoni people. It cannot be challenged. And I have not told anybody, I have not said any public function that the PDP candidate will not be voted for by the Ogoni people. Those are pockets of sponsor mediocrity on social media. Not credible Ogoni man can say so. The PDP candidate, I can tell you and you may laugh about it. It's from my village. If I want to explain to you, you will be shocked. How is the relationship to the Zakon people? So you are going to tell the Zakon people or Zakon's son not to campaign for their son? Is that what you are going to do? And what assessment do you do? So write it down. I can bet with anybody. The PDP governorship candidate will get 100% vote from Ogoniland. He will win overwhelmingly. We have.
The leader and spokesperson of the Conscience of Ogoni People, Gani Toba, further said Ogoni people will not vote politicians who have sponsored courtesan and criminal activities in Ogoni land.
And based on the directive of the governor of Rivers, you cannot commit crime and you say, okay, I'm a member of PDP. Based on because you're a member of PDP, you can go free. You cannot commit crime. So another issue that Rivers people we must deal with, because if police arrest somebody now because you are getting to an election period, so people should not bring politics into security issues. So if the governor or the security agencies are going after criminals, nobody should say, oh, because the criminal belongs to APC, or the criminal belong to Labour Party, or the criminal belong to SDP or whereabouts. Criminal must be dealt with, whether it's political period or not. And
he also said his group will soon publish a 7-point fact why Siminalayi Fubara will win the governorship election in Rivers State.
What Ogoni people are interested in is this, is security and development of the place. Many of these people have hotels all over the place. They have businesses all over the place. Which of them that their business is on that land? A lot of people who have supported the peace of Ogoni land, maybe by their phone calls, maybe by their support to security agencies, because you knew that that is the road to use. So in one way or the other, the man has been on. In this eye, we are going to release 7 points why Fubara will win in the 4 Ogoni local government.
Meanwhile, a River State House of Assembly hopeful in Oyibo local government area, Innocent Ejelo, says the spokesperson for Conscience of Ogoni People, Gani Toba, does not represent the interest of the Ogoni people or who becomes the next governor of River State. Innocent Ejelu, who spoke to our correspondent Judith Goswell, described as unfortunate the assertion by Gani Toba that Ogoni people will vote overwhelmingly for the PDP governorship candidate in River State. He said Senator Magnus Abe is the most suitable governorship candidate from the Ogoni extraction.
Chief Gani Toba is the man, the one young man we appreciate from our senatorial district. But I will appreciate he limit himself with the Omen 11 thing he's doing. I'll stop talking as if he's being paid to talk something that he cannot substantiate. First, the senatorial district where we belong to, we all has been agitating for governor. And by his grace, we have somebody we have already, the whole of Southeast Senatorial District have decided to work with, which is Senator Magnus Abe. So for him to come on air to say that another party will win overwhelmingly, let him speak for himself. He is not speaking the mind of any of us.
Innocent Ejelu, however, said that Gani Toba should put the interest of the people first for the sake of posterity.
To understand that there is what they call posterity, because whatever he do today waits for him tomorrow. Let him know, because of whatever it is, whatever peanuts is being given from any angle, then come and steal something that he will regret in future politically. We all agree that Rivers Southeast Senatorial District has been deprived since the creation of Rivers State. And by His grace, this is the time we have somebody that has been trusted, that has been tested, and the whole Rivers people, the two other senatorial districts, well-made, good persons, quality men, important persons in this state are talking about Senator Magnus Agbe. So Gani should please limit himself to the oil politics he's playing, and let us not go beyond that.
In the same vein, a Social Democratic Party SDP candidate for Kana Constituency 2 at the River State House of Assembly, Moses Salvation, said Gani Toba is putting his personal interests first above the interest of the Ogonis.
Unfortunate that is coming from a man like Gani, who claimed to be speaking for the conscience of the Ogoni people. It appears that his whole conscience thing that he does around the media appear to be much of a stomach thing rather than our collective interest as a people. The Ogoni people have been marginalized as far as the politics of Rivers State is concerned. And Gani, that the Ogonis know, does not have the required reputation, the credibility and character to speak on sensitive matter concerning our liberation or political emancipation. He does not have it. The Ogoni people are ready to take their destiny in their hands, and Gani cannot decide for them.
Moses Salvation further said Ogonis will vote massively for their son come 2023 general elections.
The Ogoni this time around, we vote overwhelmingly for their son. We will register our protest through the ballots come February 2023. SDP, which is the party of most distinguished Senator Magnus Agbe, we win overwhelmingly in all the wards of the Ogonis. We win overwhelmingly in all the 4 local governments of the Ogoni. Gani cannot stop that. He cannot stop it. He does not have what it takes to stop it. In fact, he lacks the locus to speak on matters concerning the Ogoni. He doesn't have it. He does not have any locus. What has he done for the Ogoni people? So Gani, the old drama of Simfubara and what have you, because of the money going around and buying people and all that, he wants to have his fair share of it. We know him. He's a very good business boy.
On his part, a former secretary to Kana Local Government Area Chairman, Kennedy Friday, said the claims by Gani Toba that he speaks for Ogoni people is fraudulent and false. Kennedy Friday further said Gani Toba has no structure that could give 100% support to the People's Democratic Party candidate Similia Laifua in Ogoni land.
That claim is not only false, but it is also fraudulent, for him to claim that he is the spokesman of Ogoni people when he has not been so appointed. Secondly, Gani also said that, he's going to give Sim Fubara 100% of Ogoni votes. How on earth can any person who wants to be taken seriously say such a thing? Right Honorable Chibike Rotimi Amechi, when he contested for the office of the governor, did not even win 100% in his own Obima ward. The same with Governor Wike. Wike did not win 100% in Obiakpo. The same with former Governor Peter Odili when he contested election. He did not win 100% in his own LGA. And in an election that is bound to be very, very competitive, no candidate can win 100% anywhere. So for Gani to come up on radio to say that he's going to give 100% vote to Sim is one of the most outrageous things that anybody can ever say. And I'm very, very confident that reasonable people from Rivers State who listened to him knew that he was not only grandstanding, but he was playing to the gallery.
Elsewhere, a political group, the Ogoni Men of Conscience, has commenced its grassroots mobilization for an Ogoni governor in 2023. The convener of Ogoni Men of Conscience, Solomon Lenu, during the inauguration of chapter executives for Kana, Gokana, Tai, and Eleme local government areas, urged them to preach the message of political liberation in Ogoni land.
The task is to preach the message of our political liberation to every threshold of Ogoni land, letting them know that the time for our political emancipation is now, and the world is waiting and watching how we shall handle this real and epoch-making opportunity that has eluded us for 55 years of the creation of our dear state. now that destiny calls, that it shall be mere treasonable, sacrilegious, hypocritically incongruous for us to support any other candidate, not Ogoni, after doing so and crying wolf for 55 years now, that we have an Ogoni son who is head and shoulder and better than every other candidate in the governorship race of 2020.
Solomon Lenu, however, called on other ethnic groups in River State to support any gubernatorial candidate from Ogoni extraction for the sake of equity and justice.
And let them know in whatever language, tone and semantics necessary, that no stranger can love us better than we can love ourselves. For this has been tested and proven as one of God's ordinances that can never be broken. Therefore, those who have benefited from our collaboration and support over the years, yet ignores us when we need them, should not come and deceive us any further with the vague maxim of party supremacy. For we are children of wise ancestry. Therefore, Ogoni ought not fall for that. It is time for Ogoni to support Ogoni, and we call on others to come and return the favor by supporting us as we've always done for them.
The coordinator of Ogoni Men of Conscience, Kana Local Government Area Chapter, Ike Ikbere, told our correspondent that the youth of Ogoni will throw their weight behind any gubernatorial candidate from Ogoni.
What I want other states to do for me is that we have been supporting them all this while. And this turn now is their own turn that we are appealing to them that they should support us the way we have been supporting them, so that we will enjoy too. We enjoy with them. We are together. The message I have for the Ogoni youth is that they should move and message them that they turn out in crowd. They should be telling their people, brothers and sisters, mothers, every community they come, and they should turn off for the Ogoni people that we are not taking any vote from Ogoni to any other party. We are voting where our brother.
Similarly, an election monitoring group, Yaga Africa, says it will monitor the distribution of permanent voters' cards, PVCs, by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The focal person of Yaga Africa in River State, Obinna Igbogidi, said this while appearing on Super FM Breakfast Show. He said the group wants to ensure that registered voters in Nigeria get their PVCs ahead of the 2023 polls.
This time around, it is unprecedented, and there are certain factors that may have led to this. Going into the elections, people are actually desirous of a change in governance. That is the truth. And I can say this because as an organization, we are also interested in promoting good governance and enthroning the right persons. In fact, we encourage that youth, women should actually be given opportunities to be part of governance. So this is what is happening this time around.
The focal person of Yaga Africa in River State, Obinna Igbogidi, also called for more women and youth's participation in leadership positions in the country. Obinna Igbogidi said the political space in Nigeria needs intellectuals and young leaders who will bring innovation and creativity in our political space.
Now, this raises very serious concerns to us, because in the past, we have always raised the alarm. We've had situations where people complain, they go to INEC offices and points of collection, and suddenly they can no longer find them. In as much as we are appealing and begging, this process should be made easy. We won't want.
Well, you're still listening to the news at noon on Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt. Still ahead, ASU justifies extension of strike by 2 weeks, plus other stories after this break. Don't go anywhere.
Satanic chains.
Peter therefore was kept in prison, but prayer was made without ceasing of the church unto God for him.
Peter was restrained after the angel smote him. The chain on his leg fell off. There are two types of chain. There is a visible chain and there is an invisible chain. When we say chain, what do we mean? Chain is an instrument of restraining. Chain is a satanic bondage. There are many people. You are meant to be a helper to people, but you are a beggar now. There are many stars. The devil is scared of your destiny. That's why he cage your finance, because he knows through your wealth, many lives are going to change. Through your wealth, many souls are going to be rescued. Through your wealth, many people will become wealthy. So he doesn't want you to get that wealth. There is marine chain. There's some people, your sperm is under the water. There's some sisters, your womb is under the water. There's some sisters, your wedding gown is under the water. They chained it under the water. There's some people, your money have been chained under the water. That's why you're struggling. I don't know the chain the enemy has put on your leg. Today, that chain shall break in the name of Jesus.
OPM, Dr. Jesus in Action. Dr. Jesus in Action. God is here.
Welcome back to the news and many thanks for staying. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, says the union's decision to extend its ongoing strike action by another 4 weeks is justifiable. The zonal coordinator of Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, Professor Stanley Ogon, said this during Super FM News at 6. Professor Stanley Ogon maintained that the 2 weeks extension was necessary to enable the federal government to address the demands of the union.
What do you expect us to tell Nigerians that we've been on strike for 5 months and the federal government has not addressed any of the issues involved, and then we'll go there and we'll suspend the action? What would that mean? It means that the entire 5 were wasted. In fact, the calls we got from Nigerians during the NLC rally was to the effect that we should not give up until the issues involved are addressed.
The Port Harcourt Zonal Coordinator of Academic Staff Union of Universities, Professor Stanley Ogon, further said that the federal government's insincerity is responsible for the prolonged ASU strike. He said ASU is fighting for the common interest of students and Nigerian education system in general.
What we're fighting for funding for revitalization and the proper funding of the Nigerian university. Is it for lecturers or for students? We're being told that the university is funded, our standard is low, and that we cannot compete with the best out there. So how are these students expecting that if we don't fight for these resources, the government will respond? If you go around all our campus, the evidence of development in physical infrastructure and even academic content, it's a full lot of hard work.
In the meantime, the president of Student Union Government, University of Port Harcourt, Ubabuike Gift, says the ongoing strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities has increased crime rate among youths in the country. Ubabuike Gift, in a chat with correspondent Femi Ogunkilede, said it's very unfortunate that the federal government has failed in their responsibility to prioritize education in the country.
People's future are being truncated, our strength is wasting, people's time are wasting. Students are just confused in this country and are being victims of different vices in the society. Just like can also bear with me that some students were arrested for issue of alleged cyber crimes and all of that. Our students being alleged of issues of cyber crimes or any kind of social vices. Students need to come back to campus and start learning. Let them not be choose for any kind of negative vices in society. So basically, to everybody, nobody is happy. But then again, it is a situation we see ourselves where the government is not responsive, where the government is not responsible, where the government is not prioritizing the issue of education in this country. That is where we find ourselves in the Nigeria of today. Everybody is happy, everybody is frustrated, but then we'll have to see and hope and wish that at the end of the day, something positive will come out.
The SUG president of University of Port Harcourt, Ubabuike Gift, however, appealed to the federal government to urgently resolve the issues with ASU.
The basis at which it was extended in their communique, one of it is that they want to give the Minister of Education 2 weeks that the president gave him as an ultimatum to resolve the issue of strike. So we believe and we also hope and pray that after this extension, or probably before the expiration of this particular 4 weeks, something must have been done or something positive must have been heard from the Minister of Education, which the president has already mandated to within 2 weeks resolve the issue of ASU strike.
Resident doctors at the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital, UPTH, say they will join the strike called by their national body should the federal government fail to fulfill agreements it reached with the doctors. The president of Association of Resident Doctors in UPTH, Dr. Precious Anonye, made this confirmation to our correspondent. He said the doctors will down tool if the federal government fails to act within 2 weeks.
It's obvious that in our last that National Executive Council meeting, we agreed that in 2 weeks' time we would not get a lot of things that we've agreed, and we have papers that are backing those from the government.
Andoni local government area has intensified the campaign for women in rural communities to ensure their children are well breastfed. The wife of the Andoni local government council chairman, Professor Beatrice Awotu, on an at an event organized to sensitize women on exclusive breastfeeding for children, said it ensures a healthy child and a healthy society.
A period to highlight the importance of breastfeeding and to encourage women to breastfeed exclusively for the first 6 months and to complement for 2 years. Breastfeeding is important for the baby, is important for the mother, is important for the society. The advantage is enormous, especially when you breastfeed these babies. You discover that the baby is healthier. The baby will not really be sick when they are very young. It's safe, it's clean. It also saves a lot of money for the family.
The medical officer of health in Andoni local government area, Theophilus Dagogo, said the World Breastfeeding Week is an opportunity for new mothers to step up on constant exclusive breastfeeding.
We had issues with people not accessing facilities, not coming for immunization because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So, but with this year's breastfeeding, it's significant in the sense that it helps us to mobilize the women to breastfeed. And coming on the heels of this breastfeeding week is our maternal, newborn and childhood week. And we're doing an integrated approach of all the services that we're going to render to the women. We'll be taking vitamin A, antenatal care, the drugs, all of them are incidentally free for them. We're going to get to hard-to-reach areas in Andoni to give them the message of this breastfeeding. We're going to educate the major actors in the breastfeeding chain.
Meanwhile, some mothers at the event expressed pleasure over the awareness given to them on the need to take exclusive breastfeeding very seriously.
It's a good idea, it's a good thing. They really support us and we appreciate it. Since that they started this thing, nobody even tried to do this kind of thing. So as the government now try to help mothers, so it's very good. I like it and appreciate. I want them to continue like this.
I was very happy and I thank the wife of the local government chairman for her support and everything. At least people that don't know about breastfeeding today, they will know about it.
Our correspondent reports that health kits were given to breastfeeding mothers in Andoni, and the theme of this year's Breastfeeding Day is Step Up for Breastfeeding Support and Education. And that concludes the news brought to you by Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt. A quick look at the headlines of our major stories. Ex-Zamfara State Governor Yari and others visit Governor Wike in Port Harcourt. Group frowns at Reuben Abati over comment on Governor Wike. Leader conscience of Ogoni people, Gani Toba, says Simini Alai Fubara will win Ogoni votes in 2023 polls. And River State government dissolves the governing council of Captain Ilechia Madi Polytechnic. Thank you so much for listening. That's the news. It was edited by Shegun Owolabi with the assistance of Ugo Chuku Iwochuku and produced by Ruki Ogona. You can visit us on our social media platforms on Facebook at Super FM PH, on Twitter at Super FM 93.3, and Instagram at Super FM 93.3. Remember, every child is your child. Support inclusive education. Good afternoon, and thanks for staying with us.
News, sports, entertainment, and talk for the whole family.
Oya Claro Joe, who they breathe? This not Super FM. We don't show.
Do you know you have a say in how Nigeria turns out? The prayers we pray and the words we speak